Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to today's Sigstore community meeting. It's February 6th, 2024. As always, if you have anything you would like to add to our agenda, feel free to update it now. Otherwise, we'll just go through some project updates, chat a little bit about outreach, and looks like we have one item added to the office hours section. Kicking things off with a project update. William's not here, but I'll just quickly kind of summarize some of the ongoing work with the cryptographic agility. As a summary, there is some work ongoing currently to make it easier to specify other signature schemes and hash algorithms throughout the ecosystem, with the focus being adding post-quantum support. Currently, we are working through adding support for the pre-hash variant of ED25519 to Recore. What's nice is this is going to add support for these key types for the hash to Recore D type, which previously was not supported. But this also lets us kind of iron out some bugs and again make the entire ecosystem more agile with respect to cryptographic signature schemes. You'll see many places where things are hard-coded throughout our clients. So this is a nice way to kind of test out that support. So that's ongoing. We should hopefully have an update to Recore in a week or two that adds support for this pre-hash variant. And then we'll start rolling out support in clients. I didn't have any other updates for some of the other services or cosign. Bob, did you have anything to update? Alrighty. For the clients, one call out, Sigstore Go, we just had our first release. So we cut a v0.1 release. If you're using it, please update to this release. It's still being ironed out a little bit. There's just a few bugs. We've been filing some issues, but the common path of signing with the public good instance and verifying with the public good instance works as expected. So excited to see this used a bit more widely. I know that we've seen a few services picking up. So yeah, we'll if you do check it out, feel free to file any issues if you find anything. Were there any other client updates? Alrighty, on to infrastructure. I left a note about this. Bob, did you want to just summarize the issue that we're seeing?
Sure. So we got a report of some pretty intermittent 502 response codes coming back from Recore. After digging into some of the logs and on the server side, it looks like we had a issue with keep alives for HTTP 1.1 traffic between load balancers and Recore, and that the values weren't matched up, and the load balancer thought connections were still alive when they had actually already been closed. So we tweaked some values, and that seems to have gone away, at least as best as we can tell. So if you do have any sorts of issues like that in the future, feel free to just ping in the general chat room in Slack. Many of us are watching that pretty regularly, and happy to jump in and take a look at it if you're seeing something odd. But all in all, I think this was a pretty simple fix, and it wasn't really happening all that frequently, so it was hopefully just a minor issue.
Thanks for the update, Bob. Doc updates. I know I saw an email recently about Google season of docs happening again. Lisa, do you know if we're gonna be doing another round of that this year?
I wasn't going to prioritize it unless there's a big, unless the community really wants it. I'm sure Patrick would be happy to be the writer again, but I do think we did a big cleanup, so I'm not sure what this group feels about pursuing that again.
I mean, I'd be interested. Obviously, I think the work that Patrick did was great. I think we did a massive improvement. I know there were a few specific things we talked about doing this year around shifting some of the docs towards developer focused signing, and I know there was some interest in versioning within the docs. So there are a few things that we could tackle, but obviously I also recognize that it does take a lot of work to get season of docs set up. So
yeah, I saw. I mean, a lot of projects seem to be successful in a second round too. Do you know the due date for that offhand, Hayden?
I do not. Let me search real quick. There's a timeline page. It looks like April 2nd is the deadline for organization applications.
Okay. I mean, we have time. I think maybe I'll reach out to Patrick because he actually has experience writing grants too, and maybe he would help with writing it too.
Awesome. I think that would be really great. And then just so you know, on the timeline, I just checked. Applications haven't even opened up yet. So it was just announced, but February 22nd is when that app's open up.
Awesome. Cool.
Alrighty. Moving on. Outreach and events. As I was just saying before our call, I don't know if anybody here was at FOSDEM. It just happened this weekend. We might have to table this one for a later time. But if anybody had any updates, I'd love to hear more about how it went. All right. Dimitri.
I wish I were there. No, didn't go. But I think if anyone, when the recordings get up, if anyone gets to kind of look through them or watch them and see anything that's related to Sigstore, please post on the Slack channel.
And I'll also mention too, we on our YouTube channel, I try to keep it up to date. It's been a little bit since I've done a scan for recent Sigstore talks, but we do have a playlist of talks focused on Sigstore given by community members. So feel free to add that onto Slack, and if you want to just ping me too, we can get that add to the playlist.
Where is this? Where is the playlist? In the docs?
This is linked from our community meetings playlist. If you look at the channel, there's another playlist that includes community talks.
Okay.
So it looks like we also published a update for January 2024. Dimitri, I think you added this note.
Yeah, so we got accepted a talk about the Sigstore signatures for the KubeCon Europe 24, which will be in Paris in March. So if you guys want excuse to travel to Paris, would be great to see you there.
Congratulations. That's really, really exciting. So yeah, take a look at our update. It looks like there's a few talks focused on supply chain security that'll be discussed. It should be a really exciting event.
If there are several people coming, or if there are anyone coming there, maybe we could get like organize some going out or some just to use the opportunity to see people face to face.
Yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah.
Feel free to pin me on Slack or whichever there.
I think it's a great idea. I think the salsa community actually was thinking about doing something similar. So I can reach out to the OpenSSF and see if that's something they can help coordinate for us. But no, it's a great idea.
Sure.
So the last event to mention. Sorry, Dimitri.
I'd like to thank Hayden for his help with all the pull requests that we mentioned, or that helped us to get this content for the talks. So it was great experience.
thank you for all your contributions to this. Thank you for your patience with getting all the PRs through too. All right, so the last event I just wanted to mention, the SOSS Community Days. This was previously known as OpenSSF Day. This is going to be held, I think, the day before Open Source Summit North America in Seattle. The CFP closes end of week, so if you are interested in giving a talk, I'd encourage you to submit ASAP. All right, so moving on. Lily, did you want to mention this? I know you had filed an issue about the RPM support.
Yes, so I and Dimitri and perhaps other people have been involved in various different conversations. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of trying to figure out what people would like to see when they mention RPM support in Sigstore or vice versa. And so I wanted to pull all those threads together in a central place for people to comment on, read through it, you know, gauge interest in which of these paths is actually useful. Things that I didn't mention, if you're thinking, hey, I wish Sigstore and RPMs could work together in this like other way, like, you know, please just put it in there. This will help us figure out, you know, in the community as well as from the Red Hat side, like, you know, how do we want to contribute some PRs into Sigstore, or even take concerns about Sigstore and keyless signature support to the RPM DNF communities and stuff like that. Yeah, so please read through it, make comments. Very much appreciated. It'll definitely help, even if you're just like, this sounds great, I'm interested in like blank. Like that also helps, just to show that people care about this. Or if you think it's horrible, put that on there too. I mean, just community forum.
Yeah, so I know, obviously, I think client support's probably the top of mind thing. We've got the support for the RPM type within Recore, but unless people are using the Recore CLI, they're probably not aware of that. I think there's also kind of the open question of what's the support for RPMs across different languages. I know even within Go, if I recall, the RPM package is not well maintained, so that might be something else to pursue. I think one thing we ran into is it's dependent on a now deprecated PGP package, which has actually made it, it's been a little bit of a pain point, because I know there was some community member who asked for support for a PGP or GPG v5 keys. I think I'm forgetting some things. They were asking for like ED25519 support in PGP2, which requires a newer version of PGP. So I think, I mean, overall, I think this is to say that we just need a little bit of attention to it. But if somebody's interested in starting to explore some of these things, that would be great.
Yeah, and I didn't put the language clients on there at all. That's actually a really good point. It was mostly focusing on RPM support in Recore server side, like potentially moving that into the client side of Recore. Also potentially moving some of this into Cosign, GPG supporting Cosign, and keyless signature support in RPM. They all kind of go together in a strange blob of interrelated dependencies.
I guess given there's a Slack thread here, I was going to say the next thing, if you can post the issue on general, you'll probably get some feedback.
Awesome, that's a great idea.
Awesome. Were there any other issues folks wanted to discuss? Alrighty. Well, the last thing we do is introductions, but I recognize everybody here, so it's very exciting. So we'll probably skip that part. Well, I hope everybody has a great few weeks. We'll chat again soon.